Right, welcome back. Yeah, more Range Rover content. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who's watched the last video. It's been up for 12 hours and it's already, doing great numbers, which is nice to see. And of course, any ad revenue I get goes towards things like this, although the amount of money I get from it is so little, it probably will just go towards getting another heater, because it's cold. If you can see that. It's 4 degrees in here today. Yeah, the other thing is, it's a lot of you watching, and if you like this stuff, maybe subscribe, because a lot of you watch and don't subscribe. That means you. Yeah, you. Would be nice. But anyway, straight on with it. You'll probably notice, I don't know if you can see from the camera angle, this is already up in the air and disassembled. I did film an intro yesterday when I was last working on this, but it was with that new camera I've got, and at the end of the last video you'll see that there's something wrong with the audio on it, so I've got to send it back. So I thought I'd do a new intro and just let you know what we're doing. Turbos. The big gotcha with these cars, at least the TDV8, is the turbos, and to get to them, most garages will lift the entire body off the chassis. And when you do that, obviously you risk breaking other things as you go along, unplugging them, forgetting to unplug them. Old lines and things can go brittle and they can break under that sort of movement. So yeah, I'm going to try and do it without, because I can't lift the chassis off even if I wanted to. I've seen one video on YouTube that a chap has up where he's doing it, on a driveway and stuff. So I think it's doable. I'm going to give it a good shot, and if it works I might put down below what tools I used and steps I took. But yeah, there's going to be a bit of back and forth with videos from yesterday and stuff, but I'm going to start filming today, going to carry on with this. I've got a few new tools that might help, flexi ratchets and crows for a load more pry bars, just stuff to make things work. But yeah, sorry, long intro. Hate doing these because I hate watching them when I'm just trying to find out how to do a job on a car, but see you in a sec. Right, so step one is this. I don't know if you can see, it's so dark in here, this top arm and all this needs to sort of swing forward. I don't know if it needs to, but it does give you better access, so I'm going to do it. And the guy's video I watched, he did that, so sod it. While I'm in here I might just tidy up some bits of rust. One thing I will say about this car, it does look really clean under here. Like, all the bolts are coming off quite nicely and things like that. It's not too rusty, so definitely worth saving, I think. Don't you? Yeah? Anyway. Right, quick update. She's a fighter. We have this. Trying to remove, I don't know if you can see it with the light and everything. This here. Problem is, to get on the back of it, I had to wedge a spanner up here, and it's now somewhere in the depths of the chassis leg / engine area, and that was a nice snap-on spanner as well. I would like that back at some point, but hey. So yeah, the most difficult bit so far is just removing a suspension arm, which is quite amusing to me. I'm partly thinking about giving up and just seeing if I can get enough of it off around here to not bother. But as you can see, it gives you quite a bit more access in this direction, like, but yeah, this will give me quite a bit of access if I can get this off, a little bit extra anyway. But it's such a pain in the arse. I'm thinking, why am I bothering? But hey, we shall see. I'll keep going at it, and hopefully I can get this bloody arm off, and then swing all this forward, like all of this forward that way, and then give me a bit more access, which is what the other guy did, which makes sense. It's just he skipped this bit on a video. Yeah, cool. Wow, there it is in all its oil-soaked glory. As you can see, taking out this arm, which by the way is knackered, so I'm going to try and take this off. Taking out that arm, gives you a lot of access, so it was really so much of a pain. It took ages to get that bolt undone because I couldn't get a ratchet on there. I just had to sit there with the spanner for ages, but it came off, and now I have so much more access. I think that's the oil feed pipe there. What's interesting is there is a little notch here, as if they've designed it so that you can service the turbo without taking the body off. That would be a thing, wouldn't it? So there's a few more heat shields I need to get to and get off. Probably going to take this bracket off, and then all this heat shielding here looks like it's going to be fun. And then hopefully I can get better access to just unbolt the turbo, take the feed pipe off the top. I've already loosened these bolts off back here for the exhaust. Might have to chop the exhaust a bit further down the line to get it out, not sure yet. The other guy did that, so chances are I've got my recip saw all charged. As you can see, because I had to snap off the, even with a nugger dugger, which you could barely get in there, it was just spinning, so. As I keep saying at the moment. Right, I'm going to try and get some more of these brackets and things off and get more access to turbo. But I might go get some lunch first, because it's way past my lunchtime and I've not eaten much today. Yeah, okay. Right, as you can see, it's dark, cold. I'm done for the night, I think. I'll just show you what I got up to. Wow, the camera's really struggling, isn't it? Steamy. Right. So, you see the turbo in there? We have much better access now. What I had to do, get out here, see if I can get it to focus. So you can see, a bit difficult to see actually. Have I got another torch here? No. Oh well. Yeah, I've had to remove quite a few heat shields, which are all down here. This one is still remaining, this big one along here. It's a pain in the arse to get the bolts out because this rail thing's in the way, which I've already cracked. Yay. But I have got access to the very crusty bolts on the top. So I'm hoping that a combination of that, from the manifold I should say, I've got the manifold bolts. I can see them, and actually from the top, I'll turn this on. Okay. The camera focuses. See where I've disconnected the steering rack there. I don't know if the camera can see it, but there's fairly good access, relatively good access to two of those bolts, and the third one is in that little dark bumholey crevice, just where my finger just caused it to not focus. And they're all crusty as heck. So yeah, crusty bolts, they've been soaked with WD and stuff. I'll have a go at them another day. I'm knackered and it's dark and cold and I want to go home and pick up our dinner on the way home from the chippy. These lovely dirty hands and dirty diesel related dirt. Yeah, okay. Right, see you in a few days or probably at the weekend, next weekend, so work and stuff in the way. Okay guys, I just wanted to do a quick voiceover because I missed a lot of stuff out. There was a lot of things that I didn't record because of time and things like that, but basically you can see here some extracts from the Land Rover official workshop manual. I'm going to leave the link to that below. But as you can see, one of the first things it says is remove the body, which is, yeah, good fun. Obviously, I haven't done that, but it also gives you some good idea of where all the bolts are for things, how they bolt on, what you need to remove to get to them. You'll see that they also remove the exhaust manifold with the turbos. Obviously, I didn't have the room to do that. The one thing I'll say that makes a big difference is removing the exhaust from behind. Now, you can remove the beam on the car to get these off. Mine was sealed solid. I ended up cutting the exhaust, which obviously I'm going to have to get repaired with like a little section. It's not too difficult. The driver's side one, you can cut it in the middle of a long straight bit. Shouldn't be too difficult to fix. The passenger side, I've had to cut it just before the cat. Be a bit more of a pain, but not too bad. But overall, yeah, this is a really, really difficult, involved job. And there's a lot of bolts that are hidden, difficult to get to. You'll be feeding tools down the engine, wedging them in place. using different tools, using multiple extensions. There's a lot of difficult to get to bolts. I highly recommend looking at this manual, looking at where all the bolts are, what they do, what you need to remove to get the turbos off. Another dodgy phone. If I look like I've been in a fight, as next door said, I thought you'd been in a fight, not under a Range Rover. No, been under a Range Rover. But I'll just turn this off before I get demonetised. It's been a fighter. That's 1 hour, and I think this side was the biggest pain. It's out! Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's out. Completely seized. I probably can't see that, but dead as a dodo. And it's out, but not without casualty. That pipe, and then this one, I just couldn't get to that bolt. You can see how much I got that one done. But there is zero room in here for anything. It's just, yeah. But it does come out the back after you chop the exhaust a bit, which is going to need repairing now, which is another bit of fun, which I didn't want to do. But yeah, turbos are out. Just need to get them rebuilt now. I'm knackered. That was unbelievable. So I'll start with the left-hand turbo. You've got two 10mm bolts here that hold it to the engine. You've got these T30. Like I say, I couldn't get to that one because the transfer box and the drive shaft's in the way. This is loose as it comes, but it got stuck on, so yellow. And then you've got the studs in the top, and you will need to get the studs out to pull this out, which is not possible otherwise. Before you say it, no, you can't undo these. They're just round. They're just crap. But yes, I undid these. And on this side, this is on the driver's side. These are a bit easier to get to. But the top bolts are more difficult to get to. You can see that one where I've been hammering it a bit. That was the one that was stuck, and I managed to get it out with the stud out. The studs in here. So you've got I think it's a 10 or a 13mm, and then you've got an E7 on the top. But just give them all of the heat you could possibly give them, and they will come eventually. So what happens is, passenger side seizes, oil starts going everywhere, and it just floods this one. So this one is spinning fine, it feels really nice, but you're in there, you may as well get it redone. And then there's actuators, which I know go as well, so I might have to replace those just to be safe. I imagine it's, yeah, you could have burned that out, trying to do turbo-y things and not being able to. But I did it. Don't know if it was worth it, but I did it.